Namaste, good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, as per the time zone, all the learned global citizens. And in our inter sessions, as we are discussing that what is the legal recognition of the Ayurveda at the different regulatory bodies. We have discussed, we have interacted with the definitions of the Ayurvedic medicines. We have discussed the how you can identify an Ayurvedic physician in your respective country. We have discussed about how you can reach to a good Ayurvedic therapy centers in India, and we have also discussed about the what is the legal position of the Ayurveda in the policy documents of the WHO. And all these are very promising. All these are very optimistic and really promoting the system of Ayurveda up to the last common man of the country, global citizens. That and recommendations are like this: you may adopt Ayurveda for your treatment. Today, what I am going to discuss with you is what is the legal position or the scientific position. Better word is because in USA things are different. In the USA, if you are thinking that what is the scientific position, it's the utmost highest body of the health, that is the National Institute of Health, and this comes under the NCCIH, National Center for the Complementary and Integrative Health. This organization was christened NCCIH in the 2013. Before it was NICAM, that was the National Center for the Complementary and Alternative Medicine. But they changed it in the 2013 to the NCCIH because they want to integrate the integrated system of the medicine. So friends, the document there on the site of NIH is by the name of Ayurveda Medicine in Depth. Ayurveda Medicine in Depth. And they have defined, is Ayurveda medicine safe? Just I am quoting their language, that some Ayurveda preparations may contain lead, mercury or arsenic in amounts that can be toxic. The answer is like this. If you go to the site of the NCCIH and Ayurveda medicine in depth, then the question is Ayurveda medicine safe? The answer is in this way. See, the answer may be in another way also. As WHO has quoted, that Ayurvedic medicines contain some metal and the minerals deliberately, and those metal and the minerals like this, which is written here, lead, mercury or arsenic, are treated with standard pharmaceutical procedures which are very much individualized for each and every industrial toxic metal and the minerals, and they are purified and they have exposed to be the process of the incineration, calcination, and there is the conversion about those form, and that all form are very much beneficial to the human body. And these arsenical, mercurial medicines of Ayurveda are successfully treating very chronic disorders. Yes, you just, if you want to see it, if you want to witness it, if you want to check it, come to India, and there are the practitioners who are using these drugs evidently with all precautions, and their patients are getting benefited with these positions. Their amount is very much minimal, 2 mg, 4 mg, 125 mg for the mercury, arsenic within 2 mg only. So these things are there. So here, with very humbleness, I just wish to request NIH and NCCIH, please define it in an appropriate way. Then the next question is here, is Ayurveda medicine effective? Okay, so what is the answer of the NCCIH? A few studies suggest that the Ayurveda preparations may reduce pain and increases function in people with the osteoarthritis and help manage symptoms in people with type 2 diabetes, But most of these trials are small or not well designed, and there is a little scientific evidence on Ayurveda value for other health issues. Here also I have some protest, some difference of opinion with the NIH-NCCIH. I said earlier also that in USA there is a problem for acceptance of the Ayurvedic medicine, and these are very much clearly here you can understand by these answers. They are just limiting Ayurveda for the pain and some osteoarthritis and the diabetes too. My dear learned global citizens, Ayurveda is able to treat each and every disease which are under the domain. And in India, whatsoever the diseases from the any system, GIT, respiratory, cardiovascular, excretory, muscular, eyes, nose, what not, Ayurvedic physicians are treating successfully all these diseases. Of course, we have limitations, some limitations in the cases of the chronic surgery, but some anorectal surgery or many more surgeries are being done. So this is the biasness where right information is not put on the website of the NCCIH. Better not to say biasness, I will say ignorance. Yes, the ignorance about the things going on in India, about the Ayurvedic treatment is not reaching there. Then what they are saying, how much do we know about Ayurveda medicine? See the answer. Although Ayurvedic medicine and its components have been described in many scholarly articles, only a small number of clinical trials using these approaches have been published in Western medical journals. About 240,000 American adults use Ayurvedic medicine. Listen, this is the conflict of interest. 240,000 adult Americans are using Ayurvedic medicines for their wellness to treat the diseases. And here the author of this web page is writing that Ayurvedic medicine and its components have been described in many scholarly articles. Yes, they are in the NCH library, more than 10-15. In the end, I shall go through that. And a small number of clinical trials. It is not like that. If you see the Ayurveda and the history of Ayurveda, it is a more than 3,000 year old, and the observational therapeutics as well as the experiential science, which has been accepted by the Lord Watson Commission in the 2002 by the British Parliament, and Ayurveda has been recognized as a system of medicine. This should be there, and these things again, the lack of information, that they are saying that the very few clinical trials. No, these are the full clinical trials under the observational therapeutics, whatever Acharyas has read in the classical samhitas with their experiential approach, as well as nowadays even we are applying the reverse pharmacology approach to validate our formulations. So the right information should be. Then the question is, what is Ayurvedic medicine? So then they are writing, the ancient Indian medical system, also known as Ayurveda, is based on ancient writing that rely on natural and holistic approach of physical and the mental health. Right? Do you agree? Ayurvedic medicine is one of the world's oldest medical system and remains one of India's traditional healthcare system. Yes, thank you. If you are writing like this, the Ayurveda treatment combines products mainly derived from the plants, but may also include animal, metal, mineral, diet, exercise, and lifestyle. Okay, do agree. Very fine answer, very correct, appropriate answer of this question. But like that, few clinical trials. Then the next is what the science says about the effectiveness of Ayurveda medicine. Here, see, listen what they are saying. Again, I am repeating the question. What the science says about the effectiveness of Ayurveda medicine. Few well-designed clinical trials and systematic research reviews suggest that Ayurvedic approaches are effective. Agree? They are agree. Results from a 2013 clinical trials compared two Ayurvedic formulation of plant extract against the natural products, and glucosamine sulfate and the drug Celovoxid in the 440 people with the knee osteoarthritis. Yes, I know this project and the clinical trial. All 4 products provided similar reduction in pain and improvement in the function. All Ayurvedic drugs were equally effective. It has been shown, it has been established into the hospitals of the USA as well as in the hospital of the University of Berlin, Germany, and the best paper and the best research award is also given to this research project, and Dr. Kessler is there in the University of Berlin, and just I'm forgetting and the name of the US scientist, US clinical scientist, and Amrita is Institute of Ayurveda in India is heading it again, and Dr. Ram Manohar and Dr. S.N. Gupta etc. are there. See other, a preliminary and small NCCIH funded 2011 pilot study with 43 people found that conventional and Ayurvedic treatment for rheumatoid arthritis was similarly effective. See, outcomes from a small short-term clinical trial with 89 women suggested that a formulation of the 5 Ayurvedicas may help people with the type 2 diabetes. So they are talking about the turmeric. So the clinical trials they did about the pain, they did about the osteoarthritis, they did about the diabetes. So they are thinking that Ayurveda is limited to their clinical trial, what they did, and that is the pain reduction, osteoarthritis and the diabetes. It is not the case. Certainly this is not the case. Case is that Ayurveda is able to treat different diseases whatsoever the human being is facing. Even by the name of the Arbud, cancer treatment is also written in our classics. So it is not only the 3, but what they have funded, and they are limiting themselves to only to that. Then the next is what the science says about the safety of Ayurvedic medicine. Fine. Here is also some Ayurvedic preparation include metal, mineral, gems. The US Food and Drug Administration warns that the presence of metals in some Ayurvedic products make them potentially harmful. Yes, if they are not maintained, prepared classically with the Ayurvedic technology, they may be harmful. Do agree? No doubt about it. But if they are prepared following classical treatment way of the potentiation, purification and inseminations, and certainly they are the drug, they are the medicine, not the poison. Whatsoever the metal is there, either gold, silver, iron, copper, chalcopyrite, biotite, whatsoever. What has been written there, about 35 metal and the minerals has been used, even including the mercury and the arsenic. All are very beneficial, and this has been substantially supported by the scientific studies about their safety. But if NIH-NCCIH is not aware about that, I request they should be. A 2015 published survey of the people who use Ayurvedic medicine important shows that the 40% had elevated blood level of lead. These are the some things which may be avoided if you are taking the drugs of the companies which are certified in India, and the drugs has been noted out there. A 2015 case report published the Center for Disease Control, CDC, Center for Disease Control, Morbidity and Mortality weekly report linked elevated blood lead levels in 64-year-old women. This was the MMR New York case, and we all answered it. We all then the company which are selling the drug, which were selling the drug, they denied that it is not our batch, like that. But I accept if those drugs are not prepared properly, they are poison. But if those drugs are prepared as per the ancient classical methods of the India, they are medicine. Then there is the NCCIH funded research. They have some funds they have given based on the earlier investigations. Then the more to the consider, don't use Ayurvedic medicine to postpone seeing a conventional health care like this. If you have a health condition, talk with your conventional. There is no significant, so all these are about the pregnant or the nursing, and the consult you for the child health, and tell all your healthcare providers. I mean to say that there are a lot of reservations among the people of the USA Regulatory Authority, and the NCCIH Cleaning House provides information of the NCCIH and complementary and integrative health approaches, including publications and the searches of the federal database of the scientific and the medical literature. So, dear friends, what I wish to say here that there is a lack of information. What we have published, what we did in India in the recent 50 years or even the last 2 decades, that is the very, very scientific, but not reaching to the NCI's, this write-up of the NCCIH. And see, just I am showing you a bunch of papers which are in the library of the ncbl.nim.nih government. They are talking about, see, more than 10 write-ups. Ayurvedic research in the methodology, present status. Then here is the again same Ayurvedic medicine in depth we have discussed. Contribution of World Health Organization in this global acceptance of Ayurveda. It has been written by me only in the 2011, and this write-up is in the NIH repository. A glimpses of Ayurveda, the forgotten history and the principle, 2017. Then the Ayurveda drug in case claims evidence, regulatory and ethics by the Professor Bhushan Patwardhan. He is a national research professor in the 2016. This is also in the NIH repository. Then Ayurveda, where is the evidence by the none other than the Professor D.B. Narayanan, who has a long career in the with the Dabur and in the founder of the Delhi Pharmaceutical Association, who talked about in the 2021 about the evidences, and that is also in the NIH repository. Then Ayurvedic research for direct public benefit. This is by the 2019. This is also in the NIH repository. Bridging Ayurveda with evidence-based scientific approaches, again by the Professor Bhushan Patwardhan, back 2014, 10 years ago approximately. This is also in NIH repository. Ayush for New India Vision and the Strategy by Darshan Shankar, very renowned, I can say the folklore expert and servicing the India all way in the 2016. This is also in the NIH repository. Then the Indian traditional Ayurveda system of medicine and nutritional benefit. So many research works are published in the reputed journals. How NCCIH is saying that not in reputed journal? All what I just counted before you, about approximately 10, all are in the NIH repository. And then also NCCIH is saying that not in the good journal. So what I request, yes, I request to the director NCCIH, please rewrite this web page and provide there the complete right appropriate information, and that appropriate information should be based on the evidence. All these research papers which are published, even we are publishing into the frontiers, we are publishing into the international journals, in the Elsevier publications and the Springer, everywhere we are publishing, and that all should be there into the, after the scrutiny, you can scrutinize in your own way, your own standards, and then you have to please rewrite this chapter of the NCCIH Ayurveda medicine in depth. Now it is in very shallowness. Sorry to say, because I am an academician, I may say it. Here you are giving the Ayurveda medicine in depth, but you are presenting it Ayurveda medicine in a very superficial way. So I said earlier that the NCC in USA we have some problem of the approach, and if that will be very much affirmative, as the WHO is with us, as the other, even in the European Union, these things are very much recognizing the system of Ayurveda. But it is very unfortunate that the US health regulators, and specifically the NIH and the NCCIH, on the basis of which US FDA is making the law, is I am searching a proper word for this, is not recognizing Ayurveda researches which we are doing since last 2 decades, and they are denying our observational therapeutics of the 3000 year. Ayurveda is not for the only reduction of pain, not only for the osteoarthritis, not only for the diabetes too, not only a turmeric. Ayurveda is having full bunch of the 10,000 formulation. It has treated millions and millions, billions Indians in 1,000 years. Many Europeans, many Americans, many Australians, all the global citizens have been benefited by the Ayurvedic physicians at the moment. So kindly rewrite this chapter on the NCCIH, the Indian medicine, in depth. It is very superficial. Write it again with the current contemporary, all the evidences available, what I counted in your repository. In the repository of NIH, all these things are there. With this, once again, I thank you for your kind attention, and a day will come when NIH, NCCIH and the US FDA will recognize the potency of Ayurveda, and the American citizens will be benefited. It is, the number is given 2,40,000. I hope it may be the 24 lakh in coming days. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, namaste, and in the next session again we will be meeting with the Ayurveda and policies of the European Union. Thank you.